Hello, everybody. This is Conservative Night, and this is the Young Turks is Exposed, episode number 28. I just want to go back in time a little bit, close to a year ago. And just for those of you who do not know, and I suppose this will be a point of agreement, Cenk Uygur is a feminist. He is a feminist. Let's roll this and listen to what he has to say.
So we have a very interesting interview for you guys today. It's with Karen Strawn. She is the chief spokesperson for Men's and Rights Edmonton, specifically. But she's actually fairly well known and one of the top spokespeople in general for men's and human rights movements. She has a blog called Owning Your Shit, which is a title I enjoy. She has a YouTube channel called Girl Writes What, and she co-hosts a weekly show called Honey Badger Radio. Now, a lot of the people in the audience have asked us to talk to men's rights advocates. That is exactly what we're doing here. I mean, there's a story in the news today about how Ken Griffin, who's a billionaire out of Chicago, is getting divorced, and his wife is demanding $1 million a month.
Yeah.
Because her 3 children have grown accustomed to the lifestyle of having not one, but 2 private jets at their disposal.
Yeah, no, and it's not just $1 million. It's $1 million plus extraordinary expenses like fueling the jets and travel expenses and stuff like that, right? And
they all sound like extraordinary expenses to me.
Well, but you look at it too when women occasionally, very wealthy women, get dinged with having to pay that kind of alimony. There's a huge outcry, and there's all kinds of, like, how dare you treat a woman the way we've been treating men all along, right? That's unfair, right? It's suddenly unfair when it's the other way around. And I'm hoping that as more women end up having to pay alimony, that'll provide the impetus, the political will to do away with it, at least in terms of indefinite or lifetime alimony in states like Florida. So
right. So I think that there's a lot that we can agree on issues like that. On the other hand, I'm not sure that I agree on some of the other things that you mentioned, but that's why we want to talk this through and see where we stand on things, okay? I'm sure they would have just said, hey, women, even though we've denied you the right to vote for the entire history of mankind, literally mankind, if you just stuck around and been polite, we'd have given it to you anyway. Come on, Karen, you got to realize that's the biggest load of horse crap you've ever heard in your life.
They took a poll in England of women, and 70% of them didn't want the vote. They thought...
I know, and the women in Saudi Arabia want the burqa. I know, it's because of the culture that they grew up in. Karen, give me a thank you. Look, everything's going great, but you're not being reasonable. You're being ridiculous. Give me a thank you. Give me a thank you for feminists for getting your right to vote. Otherwise, stop voting and go make me a ham sandwich.
The expansion of the franchise is a lot more complicated than what we've been led to believe. The women in that poll, the main reason that they cited was they did not want to be subject to the draft. And they thought that if they did, because this was the main justification for giving men the vote. And in most places, the amount of time between universal male suffrage and universal female suffrage was as little as 50 years, sometimes as little as 10, right? So it's never been a history of always men had the vote and made women wait for millennia. No, men got suffrage because men could be drafted. And SCOTUS even confirmed that in 1917 when there was a Supreme Court challenge saying the draft was unconstitutional.
Karen, yada, yada, yada. Do you want the right to vote or not? Are you going to give a thank you to the women who fought so hard, sometimes risked their lives to get you that right to vote? Or are you going to just start...
Okay, we've heard enough. Excuse me. Now, you notice Cenk in this, not only is he a feminist pig, but his comments are also ridiculously sexist. The go and make me a ham sandwich because you do not agree with me. This is what you're supporting in the Young Turks, guys. I know for a fact that you guys are not feminists. You're not feminists. Because I could see this dislike bar right here. So, yeah, if you want to leave a dislike on my video because it's me. I'm perfectly fine with it. But just let it be known, I know who you are. I know you guys don't stand for this, but this is what the Young Turks stands for. This is what your beloved channel stands for. It is a bunch of feminist crap, and Anna Kasparian is pretty much the same way. This is the Young Turks. This is their position. They don't want you to know it's their position because after this came out, they retracted a lot of their feminist stuff, and it's not so feminist anymore. It's more moderate because they know they have to keep you guys suckered in. They know that they got to keep you guys fooled. So now that you know the truth, you decide who you're going to support. Thanks for listening. God bless.